In the autumn of 2017, Emily and her husband Nathan, both in their mid-20s, moved into a charming two-story rental home in the quiet suburb of Willow Creek. Emily was 7 months pregnant, and the couple was eager to leave behind their cramped apartment in a rough part of town. The new house, with its white picket fence and tree-lined street, promised a fresh start in a safe neighborhood with good schools. The rent was surprisingly affordable, and though they knew little about the property's history, they felt blessed to call it home. The first few months were blissful. Their daughter Lily was born healthy, her arrival filling the house with joy. But the night they brought her home from the hospital, everything changed. As soon as they placed Lily in her crib, she let out a blood-curdling scream. Not the typical cries of hunger or discomfort, but a wail that seemed to carry pain and fear. Emily and Nathan took turns holding her through the night, unable to soothe her in the crib. Each time they tried, her screams pierced the silence, as if something in the room terrified her. Exhausted, they alternated shifts, with Emily taking the early morning hours from 2 to 4 a.m. Sleep became a distant memory, and soon Emily's nights were haunted by vivid, horrifying nightmares. In her dreams, Lily was trapped in a room engulfed in flames, her tiny body writhing as Emily stood frozen, unable to reach her. The visions were so real that Emily would wake gasping, her heart pounding as if she'd run a marathon. At her postpartum checkup, her doctor diagnosed her with anxiety, prescribing medication and therapy, but the nightmares persisted, growing more vivid. One night, she dreamed of standing in Lily's nursery, watching helplessly as an unseen force lifted her daughter from the crib, her screams echoing in a house consumed by fire. Emily woke drenched in sweat, her own screams waking Nathan, who rushed to her side. Weeks passed, and Lily's distress worsened. Her screams now filled the day as well as the night, defying the pediatrician's diagnosis of colic. Emily, on the brink of collapse, began spending evenings on the front porch, seeking solace in the cool night air. It was there she met Mrs. Agnes, an elderly neighbor who had lived in Willow Creek since its founding in the 1960s. Agnes, with her kind eyes and warm smile, noticed Emily's haggard appearance and gently asked if she was all right. Hesitant at first, Emily shared the barest details. Lily's relentless crying and her own nightmares about fire. Agnes's face paled, her hands tightening around her teacup. "Do you know what happened in that house?" Agnes asked, her voice barely above a whisper. Emily shook her head, a chill creeping up her spine. Agnes leaned closer, her eyes darting toward the house. 10 years ago, there was a fire. Faulty wiring, they said, caused by the landlord's shoddy repairs. A young couple lived there with their newborn, just 3 months old, like your Lily. The fire started in the nursery. The parents escaped, but the baby, she didn't make it. Agnes paused, her voice trembling. The house was rebuilt, but some say the child's spirit never left. Emily's blood ran cold. She stumbled back into the house, clutching Lily, who was mercifully calm in her arms. She told Nathan everything, her words tumbling out in a panicked rush. His face hardened, and without a word he began packing their essentials. "We're leaving," he said, his voice firm. Emily didn't argue. The fear in her gut was undeniable. They drove to Nathan's sister's house in a neighboring town, a small apartment buzzing with life. That first night, Lily slept soundly for the first time since her birth, not a single cry breaking the silence. Emily checked on her hourly, half expecting the screams to return, but they didn't. The next day, Nathan returned to the house to gather their belongings and negotiate an early lease termination. Emily refused to set foot inside again. When Nathan came back, he looked shaken. "I found something," he said, pulling out a singed, yellowed photograph from the attic. A picture of a nursery, its walls eerily similar to Lily's with a faint, ghostly outline of a crib in the corner. Emily's heart stopped. It was the exact room from her nightmares. They never returned to the house in Willow Creek. They found a new rental, a bright, modern apartment, far from the shadows of their old home. Lily thrived, her screams a distant memory, and Emily's nightmares faded. But the memory of that house lingered, a chilling reminder of the past that clung to its walls. Emily prayed for whoever moved in next, hoping they'd never hear the cries or see the flames that haunted her dreams.